a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear?
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. All right, so I saw this video that Kendra G is doing an interview, so I figured I wanted to check it out, see if it's a good interview or not. So let's just get started. Let's get started with the interview. Let's check it out.
Talk about me and do all those things. So that's what it's more so like really about. But
I appreciate that. And
yo, Big Bars, what's up, my brother?
So for people that don't know you,
yes.
What I love about you is that you have a whole platform dedicated to singles finding love.
Yes.
And it becomes quite hilarious at times. What made?
I think it's a platform of delusion, platform that showcase delusional women finding love. Maybe the rare cases that a particular good-looking woman finds love. I think it's rare.
Did you create the Kendra G? You have a whole dating app as well.
Yeah.
So just go and tell people what you do.
So let's go back to it.
Yo, define this. What's up, my brother?
Because I host a dating show called Kendra G Singles. And I love this question because people say, well, how can you be single and host a dating show? Duh, the show wouldn't exist if I wasn't single. I created it during the pandemic. I was actually in a relationship. And then we ended up breaking up. This is like pre-mass. This is the month of March. We don't know what's going on. You know, at this time, you can't go to your mama house. You can't go to your daddy house. It's like just quarantine in your own home. And I was in a relationship and we broke up. And I always say this is the truth. I felt like Will Smith and I Am Legend. I had a dog at the time. It was just me and my dog in my house, and D Nice was connecting us all via music on IG Live.
I remember that.
So I was like, you know what? If I feel this way single, I know there's other people that feel this way single. So I'm gonna go on Instagram Live and I'm gonna connect other single people. And literally, I made like a post like, hey, if you single, jump on live tonight. I'm gonna find you somebody. It was that basic. But the first night, I was like, oh, this is about to change my life forever if I take it serious, because single people are crazy. And it was like, you know, I come from, you know, I have a 20-plus year radio and television career, which was basically all about celebrities, right? I've interviewed every black celebrity you could think of. This was about regular people. It wasn't celebrity-driven. It was about people who wanted to be on the show. You know, you're an interviewer. You know, sometimes it's hard to chase down celebrities. So I didn't have to worry about that. I had too much. I still have too many people that want to be on the show. And then it was genuine connection. So it was like a gold mine, and we just started from Instagram, then we grew to Facebook, then YouTube, and then I launched the Kendra G Singles dating app. Last year, it'll be a year old on my birthday.
So what I love about that, I love to watch people's trajectory. You know, you started off from radio. Let people know where you used to work, because you wasn't just on some little small little station.
Oh no, I'm big time in the radio world. You know what I'm saying? So no, I worked. It was also like that week. So even though we broke up, like that week. That Saturday, it was a Saturday that year, and he didn't reach out. And after that, it's like you the Walking Dead. Like
You said he didn't reach out when your mom passed away?
Like we had broke up a few days prior, but he knew that Saturday was the anniversary of my mother's death. And he did not reach out in any way. And at that moment, you now the Walking Dead. Like you can never come back into my life because, you know, for me, if you can't, anybody could show up on your best day.
Of course.
But if you don't show up on if you don't at least check in and say, hey, I know we're not together, and it's already, you know, you're dealing with COVID, and you know this is the day.
Well, this is the thing. Kendra is really no different than all the delusional women that appears on her show. Yo, Elk, what's up, my brother? She's really no different. To be honest, the things I've heard Kendra, she's kind of accepted it. That's the thing. Where she knows that she can't find the man or the men that she wants. She knows that. She can't get the men that she wants to commit. So at the very least, she's delusional, but she accepts the delusion.
So after that, it was like, he can never come back into my life. And he did try. Not even to go so deep. I had to like get a restraining order. He tried so much. Like I had to like go down to the police department because he kept calling. He was showing up to my place because see, a lot of men do not accept no well. And a lot of men who have means, they feel like they could buy whatever they want. So they're very clueless when your money can't get you what you want.
Can't give you the access.
So, but that breakup was such a blessing because him being removed from my life is what made me go on Instagram Live to create Singles Live, which is literally like I quit my radio and television career and now I run my own company that happened because of a breakup. And this is why like those...
Do you guys want to, like, I was wondering, I usually just show the women on Kendra G. Would you guys want to see the men too? Would you guys want to see the men as well? Define, big bars, Elk. Would you sometimes want me to showcase some of the men on Kendra G's show?
Moments really could be the best moments of your life. It was really a gift that he did by getting out of my life. And he was a goofy anyways.
Goofy. You be killing me when you call people a goofy.
That's a Chicago thing. Shout out to Chicago. I got that from Chicago. That is the Chicago word. If you are called a goofy, that is like the worst insult. And I know, and I gotta say goofy because you can't.
No, this is recent. I have to admit, I gotta admit, like Elk, Kendra's not, I kind of, when you look at her from like, kind of like the chest up, I kind of thought she was skinny, but she looks like, I mean, I wouldn't call her fat, but she looks like much thicker, not much of a small waist, so I'm a little surprised.
And I swear, this is like church without the pastor. They said, Kendra, don't say. I had to ask. I said, is this a swear word? I said, the word that begins with an H is a swear word? I didn't know that was a swear word. I didn't know the word that begins with a D is a swear word. So I was like, okay, I got to use my words. You know, when you sit on this couch.
You said you could do it for about an hour, right?
About an hour, I got you. Because I like to cuss. I do. Like, you know, I thought about it. I've been able to give up alcohol. You know, I could give up intimacy. But them cuss words. God gave me a cussing spirit. I'm good at it. Like if there was an Olympics in the pearly gates, because I had to cuss y'all out, or I'm a haunt on the women and their delusion. But I think overall, what I've learned is most people don't talk to as many people as I have talked to. Like I talk to more than 15,000 single people. And I talk to a variety. Like I talk to people who are very successful, some who may not be that successful. And everybody has this wish list. And I think people just are not, they never consider what the person they want wants. That's where it really gets tricky.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
A lot of people don't consider what the person they want wants.
That part.
And we're in a time now where social media is our gift and our curse. Like you and I are connected all because of social media. But if there was no social media, we probably wouldn't know each other.
How do we get connected? That'd be interesting to
So,
tell people.
I have a private group. And there was a woman that...
Please like the video for me, guys. Please like the video.
that said, you know, in the private group, because some people don't want to be on my YouTube because they get so much criticism.
Right.
But in the private group, a lady was like, I want a man like Latiris. He hosts that podcast. And I was like, and I knew your podcast, but I'm not sure if I knew how to pronounce your name. So I was like, Latiris. And I was like, let me see. I was like, what's his name? Give me the IG, child. So then they gave me your IG and you were following me. I said, oh, he's following me.
Yep.
So I DM'd you. I was like, there's a woman, like, if you could just give her a shout out, like, and I didn't know Latiris knew me, so I was very humbled that you knew me, and that was how our kinship began. And what was even more interesting, this is how you know guys all in it. You were coming to LA like 3 days later,
Right?
So I happened to DM you, and you were coming to LA 3 days later, and then we got together for lunch. That's what I make. You could move into this home. I already got the house, and I'll get these men, and then I'll see women say, he's so boring. Like, they call that guy boring because they're used to the outside guy. Well, the
Yes.
outside guy, yeah, he's fun, it's exciting, but he like being outside. He don't want to be in a house.
Absolutely.
He don't want to be in a house. So, you know, you got to find that medium, or maybe just accept that, you know what, maybe I don't really want to be married. I just want the benefits. I keep rambling, but I just want to say this one thing.
No,
I have
it's good. You're dropping gems, everything. I'm loving everything you're saying.
Yeah, I have a friend. Most of my friends are married, so I have I don't have any biological brother, but I have a lot of angel brothers that God has sent me. And one of my brothers, Quincy Harris, been married for 16 years.
16 years. Shout out to Quincy. Shout out to you, bro.
And Quincy, QDZ is his name. They know him in Philly. But he said, you know what? I think if you're talking about marriage, you shouldn't get a wedding or a ring until 5 years after marriage. And the reason why is because when you get engaged, it all becomes about the wedding and the dress and the bridesmaids. And, you know, you don't really focus on the real deal of marriage of, you know, are you now going to conform? Are you going to suppress your ambitions or your dreams for the greater good of the marriage? You're just focused on my wedding day and the announcement and the engagement. And, okay, we're wearing white. Okay, pink is the color.
Yeah.
None of that stuff matters really in marriage.
Absolutely
so
not.
you can know the soil. If you're not focused on those things, you should earn a wedding day. You should earn a wedding ring. You should prove that. And people get lost in that because they're not focusing on the foundation. A lot of the people that I know that are happily married did not have big weddings. They eloped. Like two of my best friends, I was not at their weddings. Like one got married during COVID. So, you know, it was only 10 people that were allowed to be there. And one of my friends, when she's like, I got married this weekend. And I was like, you're lying. She was like, no, I really did. I was like, you are lying. And now it's been 10 plus years.
And they feel like I can do bad all by myself or I don't need you at all. So now women are saying, I don't just need a man that's a provider, because at first men were the providers. Now they're saying, I want something that men are less likely to give, which is emotional intelligence. Now, I can overlook the money. I'm out earning you or whatever, but I can't be with a guy that I feel like I can't have conversation with. And so that's the part that's heartbreaking. And so here on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, I accept those statistics, and then I say, how can we do it better? How can we get men to start building more emotionally? We always been programmed to just be the earners, to be the providers, but how can we provide outside of finances? Not saying in lieu of, but saying, yes, go get your money, go do what you need to do, but don't make your value based upon your income.
Right.
And so what are you finding in yourself in these dating? Let me ask you this. Do you desire marriage?
If I died tomorrow and I wasn't a wife, it wouldn't bother me.
No, because you'd be dead.
Yeah.
So when people say stuff like that,
but let me tell you why.
of course
Because
they're gonna bother you dead.
no, because there's some people that are like, if I don't get married, it's the biggest
None of
regret.
that matters once you die.
No, but you got to hear me out, because I felt like becoming who I was born to be. So let me talk about people always say engagements don't count. And my engagement changed my life, and it helped me understand me, because I feel like most women we're sold the Cinderella story of marriage, right? So when I was young, I was sold the Cinderella story, like, oh, you meet somebody, Prince Charming. So I did what we recommend girls do. I went to college, I went to Hampton University, got into a relationship. After college, we got engaged. And I remember, it's so funny, my mother, everybody was happy. My daddy said to me, he was like, you are not ready to be anybody's wife. My dad knew. He said, you are so ambitious that you're going to have to get.
That's something that, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that I I hate about men sometimes, especially the modern day men. You are hurting. You are part of the problem of hurting the next generation of women. You are the problem. This is the thing where what I'm going to do with my daughter is that I'm going to tell you, fine. You have basically two choices in life. You want to be the ambitious career woman? Cool. Go for it. I will fully support you. Or you want to be a family. You want to be the mother, a family woman. I will support you that too. You can't the difficultness, okay, to be both is absolutely unrealistic in a lot of cases. You are going to have to sacrifice. You can't be the best in your career and also have the best family, husband. All it's like one in a couple thousand, 100,000, a million even. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's impossible. You want to go through that route? You want to go through that hard route of trying to have the best of everything? Cool. Understand that you chose it. This is the thing where I'm sorry, that father failed his daughter. Created the Kendra that is now single in her late 40s or mid 40s. She's single in her mid 40s. That father who said, "You're so ambitious, you shouldn't marry me." Why can't you marry him and build? This is the thing where absolutely stupid. That is a stupid. This is where I'm holding men accountable. Any man that says, "Oh, you shouldn't marry young. Go do your career. Be ambitious. Go." Can't you do that both? You know, you don't need to. This is the thing where why can't you have a job? Maybe you can't have a career, but be married when you're young. That's when you're building. When you give up, this is the thing, when you have to pick either or, and you want to make it the best, guarantee that you're sacrificing the other. That's the thing where we just can't be like, oh, good enough. That's the thing where I think humans right now, we have such a desire to be the best at whatever, to have be a CEO, to be the, I don't know, top and make so much money. Really? I mean, why can't you be average? I just think it's like, that is, yo, Blue Exodus, what's up, my brother? That's the thing where, what's worse? Single mothers raise. To be honest, I kind of feel like it's the same thing. I kind of feel like it's the same thing. That men, because here's the thing. You could say the soy boy father is technically, the soy boy fathers are raised by single mothers. So they are no different than their single mothers. They only know how to raise their daughters as a strong, independent woman. That's it. This is the problem where the men that are raised by single mothers, all they know how to do is raise their daughters as strong, independent. And I think that is a danger. That is a disservice to your daughter. It is. I'd rather you be truthful, be honest. Okay, you have to understand reality. You have to either, one, try to be the best at whatever career or whatever you want, or have the best family you can have. You have to sacrifice one another. If you want to have an okay job and then, be more active in your family, you have to understand, you can't be the best at, let's say, a lawyer, be the best lawyer, and also have a great family. It's hard. It's not impossible, but it's such a hurdle. And a lot of people think that, okay, let me be the best at whatever career I choose. And then when I'm in my late 30s, 40s, now I want to focus on a man. You should have done that already. You should have done it already, and you shouldn't. I'm sorry. Putting so much energy into a career that, honestly, what is it going to do for you? You're not providing. You're not taking care of nobody but yourself. You don't need that much money to take care of yourself.
Give up everything of who you really are to be this man's wife. And I remember being so mad at my dad because I was like, I would think you would be happy, right? But he knew me. So one thing I loved about my engagement is that me and my ex-fiance, we took it serious. And we were like, if we get married, it's me and you until Jesus.
Yep.
Like no matter what, if we do this, we end this. And having that pact in the beginning caused us both to really take this as a serious thing. What we learned was we had a real love for each other, but we had different life plans. And somebody was going to have to give up their life plan in order for the family to work. Now, at this time, you know, I'm young. I'm in my 20s. I'm starting off in radio. You know, I'm a graduate from Hampton University, but my first radio job, I made $7 an hour. And I'll never forget, I got a full-time job in Buffalo, New York, and they wanted me to sign a 3-year contract. I wouldn't sign the contract. So they said, okay, well, we're going to just let you go. It was December 20th. 5 days later, I didn't know, but my boyfriend then was planning to propose. And he proposed on Christmas Day. So I got fired, and then I got engaged on Christmas Day. So I didn't have a job, so I ended up moving with him. This is how my Chicago run began, because he was an electrical engineer living in Illinois. So I ended up moving to Illinois. So we had spent a year long distance while I was working in Buffalo. So the first 2 weeks was amazing, right? Because it's like, okay, we're here. It's like honeymoon time. After that 2 weeks, he's going to work every day. I have no financial issues. Like, he has a reliable career, probably still has that job with that company at a higher level now. I moved in with him, so it was no extra bills. All I had to do was just get married and pop out some babies. And I said, this is not my life. This is not what God birthed me to become. And I knew I wasn't a housewife.
That is what God birthed. This is why a lot of times I say women that talk about God is a red flag. What God didn't birth you to be. God promotes family. He doesn't promote strong, independent woman. Show me the scripture that does. Show me the scripture that says God says, you go get it. You go, girl. You go, girl. You go get your money. You go get your whatever. You go, girl. Be your strong, independent self. No God, okay, on this earth promotes women being strong and independent. No God does that. Like, God promotes family. He promotes family.
I was like, I would not be happy as just somebody's wife and having their kids. Like, there's just so much inside of me. And I decided I'm going to pursue this.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. That is women that says, I want a God-fearing man. They use God for every excuse to take away their accountability, to like put shackles on men. It's like they use God as a weapon.
This career that has no guarantee. Like, literally, radio is probably one of the most unreliable careers you can bet on.
Yeah,
but it was like, I had to bet on me. And for a long time, I remember I used to be like, I chose my career over love. And the truth of the matter is, I didn't choose my career over love. I chose who I am. Like, this is who I am, whether I was making $1 off it or not.
She chose who she is. She chose herself. She chose herself over a man and a family, over love. She chose herself over love. Fine. She didn't choose a career over love. She chose herself. This is why I said Kendra is really no different than all the women she has interviewed. She chose herself. Women today only care about themselves. What is the quote? I put a quote, okay? The quote is that women will sacrifice men will sacrifice their own happiness for their family. Men will sacrifice their own happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their own happiness. We have a generation of women that only think about themselves. Me, 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 me. Fine. You want to just think about yourself? Cool. It is what it is. Don't blame men for your selfishness. Don't blame men for your selfishness. Because here's the thing. You do not have the right to blame men that you are in your late 40s, in your late 30s, where at whatever age you are, and say you can't get a man. You could have gotten a man. You didn't want him. You are selfish. You only care about himself until now you want a man. No. It's only your fault. 100% your fault. Don't blame men for your own selfishness.
This is who Kendra is.
So
And
why you say it had to be a choice though? So
Because-
what changed? What
Well,
made it not work?
so what happened?
That's the thing. That's the Blue X. That is the insanity. This is why men are confused. Men are confused with this. Blue Exorcist said exactly that. Women put so much damn work into their career, into their education, and yet, what is your money worth? You still expect men to pay for bills, pay for dates, pay for gifts, spoil you. You still expect that shit. You still expect a man to have money equal to yours or more. Why? What's the point of you having money? Because when men make money, he doesn't give a shit if she makes just as much as him. He definitely doesn't care if she makes more than him. He don't care. And that's the insanity of it. Men don't care about your money because he makes money. Yet when women make money, she cares even more about your money. When she makes money, she cares even more about your money. She cares that you have even more money. Then what's the point of you having money? I've said this before. I think it would be more reasonable if women who are dating, right? Maybe she makes 6 figures. Maybe they make a lot of money. The man you're dating, since you make a lot of money, just want a man that's adult. Want a man that's productive adult. A man that has his own place, his own car, pays his own bills. He's not begging for money. It don't matter what he makes, 50, 60, 70K. As long as he has his own shit. He has his own shit together. His own place, his own car. He pays his own bills. He's not begging for money. That's it. That should be good enough in the money career aspect. That's it. Everything else, now you care about his personality. Now you care about his principles, his moralities, everything else. The money part, the career part, as long as he's a stable man, that is good enough. For women that makes a lot of money. Yet, even though you make a lot of money, you care about how much he makes. So really, what's the point? What's the point of you making a lot of money for?
Okay, I'm in radio. I ended up getting a job in Philly.
All right, you had
so
to relocate.
I got fired from this job in Chicago. So now I had to relocate to Philly. And we were already kind of rocky because we were discovering, like, at that time, he was ready to, like, have children and get married, like, because he didn't want to be an old father, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not having your child until we get married. And so we were learning, like, okay, we don't really have the same alignment for life goals. And I knew if I took the job in Philly, it was a wrap. There was no way we were going to be able to survive another long distance relationship. And that's what happened. And I moved to Philly and our relationship did not survive.
How long were y'all together from the day that y'all committed?
We were in college. So we started in college. And then I want to say we met probably like my sophomore year in college. You have this one of those, you together, then you're not together.
Yeah.
Then after, our engagement was like 3 years. Once we got engaged, it was like a 3-year process. So by this time, we really are just, because the thing is, he wasn't a bad guy and there wasn't like infidelity. It's different when you learn that, oh, I really love you, but we're just not on the same life plan.
Yes.
That's it's easy to leave a person.
That what she just said, okay? That is the actual reasonings, the mindset why most women get divorced. He's a good guy. No infidelity, no issues. He's a good guy. We just have different views of life. I'm bored of him. I grew out of love with him. I want something different than him. That is the reason why most women divorce. Not because he cheated, not because he abused, not because of what he didn't make enough for you. is that, you know what? Well, maybe because he didn't make enough of you, but it's like they have grown out of love with the man. They see a different life. Okay, they see a different life that didn't include this man. That is most marriages. That is most divorces.
Person, if they cheat on you,
Yep.
if
Oh, please hit the like button, my brothers.
they're disrespectful, but when the love is real, but the life assignment isn't aligned, that's harder. So, but I had to go for what I know, right? And I took the job in Philly, and then that dissolved. And I remember I was really, really sad. But he ended up moving on. But I share this story because some would say this is like 20 years ago. And it's like, okay, 20 years later, you're still not married. You're still not a wife. Would you make that same like bet? Would you make the same decision?
And I'll say you would.
Absolutely, I would. I would have made it a day earlier because I had to choose me. Like, I am not going to suppress who I am just to be somebody's wife. Like, you asked me outside, you said, am I somebody's wife? I said, I don't know. And I'm okay with
That is why women's past matters. Here's a woman that has shown a history of selfishness. Guess what type of men she will attract? The man she told, right? She just told a story of a man she just recently dated, okay? Before COVID. She just told a story of a man she recently dated before COVID. That he didn't call her, check up on her when the anniversary of the death of her mom. He didn't call her to check up on her for the anniversary of the death of her mom. Guess what? The type of men she will attract now are the men that don't give a shit about her. Because why? You are selfish. You think you attract good men? It's like selfish women, shitty women. The only way you attract good men they're stupid good. They're stupid and they're good men. So essentially they're simps. They're betas. They're soy boy. Okay? That's how you can track it. But here's the thing. Women aren't attracted to those men. They're not attracted to those men. They want good men that has their shit together. That's like all these requirements. So really, that's the thing where you're not going to attract good men. And women's history matters because of that. You are a selfish woman. So this is why I've said on countless Kendra G show videos, these women, they don't deserve, they don't qualify for good men. Their history, when they say all the shit that they say, I can tell you they don't deserve, they don't qualify for good men. Because good men, good, solid men, they see that bullshit. Yo, why? What's up, my brother? They see that bullshit. They're not going to deal with it. I don't need a selfish ass woman. No.
that. Like, if I don't get married, it will not.
No, tell them how that conversation came up.
Because he writing letters to ghosts. Because seriously writing letters to ghost child. Now, I thought we stopped having imaginary friends when we was in kindergarten, but now Latirius, he said, I'm about to write the letter to my invisible wife. I said, your wife?
I did not say
okay,
invisible.
he said to his wife, I said, the invisible woman you ain't never. You know, personally, I don't think Latirius want to be nobody's husband, but, you know, I think we might get to that part in the podcast. And I said, you writing letters to everybody know this woman but you. You done sat here, you've been around this world, around all these sensational women. He ain't trying to be nobody's husband, child. But, you know.
I told her
that's my own theory.
I said she is not imaginary. She's a real person.
Yeah, everybody know but you. How everybody know your wife but you? How
because if we meet each other and it aligns and we say I do, then she became my wife. So she wouldn't be imaginary no more, would she?
Okay, this is your interview, so I'm going to respect that.
No, talk.
Okay, but I have a question for you.
We can have a conversation.
What are you looking for? Because like most people don't have the opportunity that you have. You have the opportunity to associate with so many women, right? Which I really feel like is your disadvantage because we're having so many choices. It's like you're trying to make this perfect person. It's like, ooh, I like her. She speaks well. Ooh, but I like her because she fine. Ooh, I like her. Her hair real. Ooh, I like her. She go to church the most. So you got like 5 different pieces of a woman and you're trying to make it that one. So it's like, To me, I think your challenge is, focusing on one woman only and rocking out life with her when you have so many options. And I feel like that's the disadvantage. That's your challenge.
So my challenge is this. My challenge is, well, thank you for your assessment. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing she was projecting. Please like the videos, guys. It helps push the videos along.
Kendra G. I'm not a person that gets caught up on quantity. And so it's because like I go to these events, host these events everywhere. I go to my hotel and by myself. I don't get caught up on quantity. Matter of fact, I look for quality. I literally look back and say, God, these letters that I've written is literally a blueprint to what I desire. So when I meet a woman, it don't take a long time for me to assess and discern if that's my wife or not. I liken it to an episode I did one day, and I was interviewing this lady named Siobhan and her husband Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
And while she was talking, tears started streaming down my face. And this was about a couple of years ago because God revealed to me the sound of a wife. This is this other man's wife sitting right there and they're talking, but I started crying. She said, why are you crying? I said, I can't compromise having a woman of God. And then she said, you don't have to. What's wrong? Because in my mind, in that season, I said, maybe what I desire, I'm looking for too much. And too much was it was basic. It was just literally, I want a woman that has the heart posture of God. A woman that when I'm in my moments of weariness, when I'm in these moments where I'm trying to figure out the next move, that she'll be able to put her hand on my shoulder and say, baby, you got this, and begin to pray for me. I want a woman that is aligned with me in purpose, where the decision shouldn't have to be made with, do I choose love or do I choose my purpose?
Right.
Because that's what you had to choose. If it's the person that God, and that's what I don't like, is that sometimes it becomes a question of, do I choose my lover / husband, wife, or do I choose my dreams? If it's your husband or spouse, you can do them both. It's like, it's no such thing as I have to choose this or this. And that's what I believe is the disconnect, is that it's set up as a choice. And so I'm looking for that, because yes, in certain situations you can date somebody and they may be not aligned because you may live in one area and they live in another area and neither one of y'all are willing to move or whatever. Well, unless y'all gonna have a long distance marriage, that's not gonna work.
Right.
But as two mature adults, you have to be able to say, you know what, this ain't gonna work before it gets 5 years in, before it gets to an engagement. Those conversations should be had early on in the assessment, in the interview phase. Before you get a job, they take you through an interview. Whether you lie and say that you believe in building with this company and retiring from that company, you know you lying when you're saying that. Or if you're saying, no, I really want to work here for 1 year because I'm going to quit and go be an entrepreneur after that year. Well, you lied at the interview, but you told them what they want to hear. When you're dating somebody, all I'm looking for is for people to show up as their authentic self so I can assess whether or not this is a person for me.
Yo, what's up, Skull? What's up, my brother? Please like the video. It helps push the video along for me.
And this is a person I can build legacy with. And so sometimes, yeah, what you're saying is that, yes, a whole lot of selection. Absolutely. Sometimes that is overwhelming. But the reality is that my heart is fashioned in hearing what God wants me to hear in the sound of this woman. And that ain't gonna take me long. That's why I started being even more intentional verbally of saying, I will be married by the end of this year. And if I'm not married by the end of this year, there will be a ring on some woman's finger by the end of this year that she will be my wife in 2026, period. Because that's what I mean. Sometimes people look at it as, oh, you have all these options, and I can flip it back on you. Couldn't you get married if you want to?
Absolutely. But I was listening to you. This is good, because this is why when you asked me, I was talking about like, I don't know, because I take marriage so seriously. Like, it's not a game. And I feel like a lot of women, if you understood what you are giving and offering as a wife,
Oh, shit. Yo, Skull, you got to talk to me about that. I would love to hear. It's all good, my brother. It's all good. You know? I started talking to this, I don't want to jinx it, but I have been talking to this, an interesting girl. Not dating, but I've been talking to her, so it's talking stage right now. So but hopefully it works out, my brother.
Guy shows you he don't deserve that, you wouldn't cry. Because to me, there's nothing higher than an honor than saying, I'm going to be your wife. Because what I'm saying is everything is second to you.
Facts.
Everything is second to you. You have to deserve, you have to earn that.
Absolutely.
What happens is women show up for
Big bars. Here's my thing, okay? You will never be played if you stick to your boundaries. No man will ever be played if he sticks to his boundaries, his standards, and keeps his self-respect. You will not be played. Personal opinion, you won't be played. As long as you stick to your boundaries, your self-respect, your standards, you will not be played. Because you won't let no woman cross those lines. If you hold up to your boundaries, okay, you have your self-respect, no. You ain't letting no one spit on your self-respect, then no. You won't be played. The problem is that we have these men that will destroy their own self-respect, let women cross their boundaries, and then cry about it.
men as wives, and they not even your boyfriend.
Absolutely.
Like, he's not even reliable. And you got to stop giving out these wifely benefits to men, because this is why men don't want to become husbands, because they get husband treatments without even being your boyfriend.
That part.
But the truth of a wife, to me, is the highest honor. I'm going to stand by your side through sickness and health. You know, when you're wrong, I'm not going to shame you in front of the world. I'm going to suppress myself if it means to ignite you to a different, exalt you. I'm going to move and fashion my whole entire life around you, because I do believe that's what a wife should do. But I feel as though a man has to earn that. And what's happening is, going back to the Cinderella story, every man doesn't deserve a wife.
Define. It's weird. Should the beginning really be tough? In my personal opinion, beginning of a relationship should be the easiest of the relationship. It's the honeymoon phase. I mean, once you get past the dating, okay? The dating and the talking, where you know the person, now you're officially, in a relationship, that should be the honeymoon phase. I would think that it shouldn't be that hard.
You know, and every man and every woman doesn't necessarily deserve a husband, because, again, are you willing to make that sacrifice for that man? Are you willing to say, I'm going to put this job aside because this doesn't work for my husband? I have so many friends that are married, and some have been...
Most definitely. The talking face is so... This is why... Okay, this is the thing where I'm saying. This is why, in my personal opinion, average men they would not want to cheat. Personal opinion, okay? Personal opinion. This is why average men are more faithful. Again, personal opinion. This is why average men don't want to cheat, and they're more faithful. Because men hate dating. Average men. These are average men. It's not like, I'm not talking about top tier men where they have a line of women waiting for them. No, I'm talking about average men. Personal opinion, average men, we hate dating because it is a headache. Getting to know a new girl every time, plus it's like every couple, it's so hard. It's so annoying. So if we are in a relationship, we want to make it work. We want to make it work. We will be faithful. We'll be loving. We'll try to be our best. Because going back into the dating market, it sucks.
Married for years, and I have watched the valleys. Like, there's moments when the husband was doing better, but then he lost his job. So then my friend had to step up and had to do I don't want, again, I have to be conscious of other people's personal business, but I saw her had to step up in ways to hold down the family, because that's what the dynamic required.
Absolutely.
Because their family trumps everything. And I think if we go back to that foundation, you will realize there's not a lot of people that really qualify to be your husband or your wife. Dating, you can date forever. Like there's that supply is limitless, to be quite honest. But your husband, a wife, I don't really feel as though there's a lot of options. I do think finances have changed this a lot though, because see, a man, he'll date a girl who's a waitress at Applebee's or the corporate lawyer, right? Because it's like, we're just going on a date. They make it kind of simple. Women, if you're not the corporate lawyer, I don't even want to go on the date with you.
Yep.
And that guy who is attractive, has money, you know, now he's connected via social media. I always say, like, back in the day, there was this, God, Waterbury, I will live in Waterbury, Connecticut. There was this guy called Michael Chapman, and he was like the finest guy in high school, and all the girls wanted him. So imagine this.
He don't this. He's always that. He's always, you know what? This other guy, never thought I'd give this type of guy a chance. But this is a guy that sees me, he talks to me, he's investing in me, he's intentional with me. And after dating all these people, you'll realize that what you thought, you have this cognitive dissonance that's been operating in your mind where you say you want this, but you're actually acting out in this fashion. Then you'll be able to discern, this is what I really want. This is most aligned with me. And then you'll have a healthy, thriving marriage. But now, based on what you said a minute ago, you just said that based on all these options I have, that I should be married.
Exactly. I do agree why. I do agree. Because men, they want to make things work. That's why I said, I think, again, my opinion, I think average men are more faithful because they want to make it work.
Because of the fact that I'm not married, not taking into account, I have been married before. So I've been married before. I was married for almost 10 years. I've been divorced going on 10 years. And so based on the options that you said that you think I should be married, and even went as far as to say I don't really want to be married, because if I did, I would be married by now.
Okay.
You want to retract that statement, Kendra G?
I don't want to retract the statement because I still feel, this is what I stand on with that. And I stand on what I said before. You have so many options. I almost think you're looking for the perfect woman.
And why do you say that?
Because you've been around there's certain people who don't have what you have. You have the gift of being around so many variety of women. And I guess for me, observing, I'm like, all these sensational women, none of them was good enough to be your wife.
Why is it not good enough?
What do you mean, why is it not good enough?
Why is that the phrase?
Because I feel like, see, for you, to me, this is what we talk, because we talk outside. And I want to also, I'm going to answer this, and there's something else you said I want to talk.
This is the problem with Kendra G. This whole talking. This is the thing where Kendra G, she interviews hundreds, if not thousands of women. Do you think that women are that great? Women basically, most all women say, oh, I'm loving, I'm nurturing, I'm loyal, I'm a vibe, I'm fun. All women say the same shit. It's like all the women say the same shit. They don't say anything special. They don't say anything great. You said he's around, I don't know this man that well or at all. You said that he's around so many women. How do you know these women are all great? Because they have careers? Because they look good? It's like, this is a man. By just hearing him, he's definitely seems like he's the man of God. He goes for a woman by her character. He's trying to find a woman because of her character, not because of her career, not because he's fun, not because he's necessarily good looking. Those aren't special. A good-looking woman, men are attracted to most women. That's not like a hard thing to find a good-looking woman. A career woman, great. So what? He has money. Her career, it's great for her. It means nothing to him. So really, that's the foolishness of a lot of women thinking there's so many great women around. Really? Are they? Are there so many great women out there? When essentially a lot of them are the same. And here's the thing, where if you are a man that makes a lot of money, you have to be even more cautious. If you are a man that wants to be the best version of yourself, you want to, build, you want to earn, you want to try to be financially well off, you have to be so cautious with the women you go for. And especially if you're already well off, if you already have shit to your name, if you already have money, properties, whatever, you have to be even more cautious with the women you can, chain yourself to.
So we're gonna have to.
And this is why most men, a lot of men nowadays, they're so cautious with marriage. Honestly, a lot of men are steering away from marriage because this is the thing with women. They love conditionally. Women love conditionally. If you lose your money, boom, she's gone. She's gone. If you're not that good in bed, boom, she's looking for another man with a big D. If you are whatever, you get lazy, you don't do this, you don't do that, boom, she's gone. So really, a man attaches his name to her. If she leaves, she can take half of your shit. Especially if you're wealthy. If you're wealthy, she can take half of your shit. Even if she cheated on you. Even if she cheated on you. All she needs to do is just stay with you for a few years. All she needs to do is just stay with you for a few years. She could leave you and take half of your shit. Especially when you're wealthy, you have to be fucking cautious.
To go back. Marriage is important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is important to you. You to me, if God forbid, if this was our last day on earth and you didn't get remarried, that would be like one of your regrets. Like, I should have did that. So because it's so important to you, I would think you do have a podcast behind it, but I would think that by this time you would have found a woman that has most of the qualities, because I don't think she might not have 100%. She might have 70%, but the 70% is more important because there's so many women that want to marry you, Latiris. Like, there's so many women who, girl, like if I brought you on my show, Latiris ain't been on my show, but if I know for certain, if you came on my show, 8,000, I'm not even exaggerating. You would get 8,000 women from around the world that are like, I want to be your wife. Now, they might not all fit what you want, but I think, is anybody perfect?
And that's the thing about it. I'm not looking for perfection.
Okay, before I answer that, you haven't met a woman that has at least 70% of the qualities that matter most to you that could be your wife.
I always say I thought I did. So the other thing, I did a whole episode in 2022 that you may not be aware of. 2023, called Healing from Heartbreak. I thought I was going to marry this woman after us knowing each other for 3 months. And I said, it was so intentional, all this alignment, all this stuff. And I was like, cool. I had planned, we had talked about, end up getting married in 2023. And I was like, this is what it is.
Well, I thought that was crazy.
Well, see, look, hold on. No, hold on. I want to hear it now. I want to hear how you double talk what you just said.
Let's not double talk.
No, listen, hold on.
Okay.
This is what you just said. You ain't found nobody that you want to marry. Now you found this other person. That's crazy that you was going to marry this woman after knowing her for 3 months.
Because 3 months to me, you haven't been through enough life experience to make that commitment.
But the commitment wasn't done yet. This is what I'm saying. So this is the process. You can meet somebody with intentionality to say, I plan to marry him.
Okay.
Clearly, she didn't have a ring on her finger.
Okay.
Clearly, we didn't get engaged.
Okay.
Clearly, but we were in pre-engagement counseling. So we were in pre-engagement counseling because I said there's some things that we need to uncover, and there's some things that I see attached to your past family that we need to look at. And so we started doing that, and that's when everything started unraveling. She was like, I got to go get healed.
Well, I want to go back. Okay, so that's one woman, but what has been your challenge? So what is the challenge that you are having when seeking a wife? Like, what are women lacking? Because this could be an enlightening moment for women who are watching, because I have so many women that want to be married. So what do you find that you cannot find, which is this wow factor that is important to you to be somebody's husband?
See, I don't think it's based on a woman's deficit. It's not based on, because I meet a lot of amazing women, so I can't say that if they were this, we would have got married. It's not that. It's the fact that as time would tell, we didn't make it to marriage. And that's why I mean by healthy dating experiences, where you date somebody and y'all are very clear, I'm seeking God over it, and it just doesn't work out, you know. And so in those situations, I don't look at I changed my perspective when it comes to love. I look at love as an opportunity for people to experience who we are in our healthy self or our toxic self, and then we get a chance to recalibrate and say, oh gosh, I need to heal from this. This person here, I bled on most of the relationship, and they had to deal with the last 3 women I dealt with, or dealt with somebody I forgot all about 6 years ago that I wasn't healed about or healed from. And so as you go on this journey of love, I believe that we give people the opportunity to experience us and we experience them. And if it works out to engagement and if it works out to marriage, because think about it, it's stages. It goes from we dating each other. My whole thing is I believe in going from friend to fiance. So that means that what I want to cultivate at the foundation is friendship. Can I talk to you? Do I enjoy you? Can I turn the TV off and we can enjoy each other just having great conversation? I talk about my life, quote unquote, ending with my beautiful wife sitting on a porch and rocking chairs, sipping lemonade and just talking. I say that a lot on my podcast because I say it has to go down to the foundation of just sitting there talking. Is there somebody I can talk to?
Right, but
let me go to the stages. So then we go from the date to the friendship stage, and then we go to engagement. Prior to engagement, I say we're going to go through pre-engagement counseling so we can excavate whatever childhood trauma, whatever issues we have, to bring it to the forefront. Then if all that checks out, boom, let me put a ring on your finger. The engagement is a process. It's still a process of this is what we are committed to until we get married. Well, you know, a lot of people, including yourself, have failed engagements. You're engaged to somebody and it doesn't make it to the
Yo, what's up, John? What's up, my brother?
wedding. Even if it makes it to the wedding, the altar, y'all still not married. They ask the question, Kendra G, do you accept so-and-so to be your, sir, do you accept so-and-so?
If we got this, all the money we done spent for that wedding, I'm saying yes. Now, we done made it that far. But let me
think about how many people don't, though.
Right,
How many people be stood up at the altar, they don't even come. So I'm saying all of this is the process. What I just want to illustrate is that everything is a process. And so sometimes when people look at other people and they go, you should have been married, and then I put it back on them, and you should have too. But you can identify with your own process and be like, well, no, because the reason why I didn't is because I was going to marry this person, but this right here happened and I chose this or whatever. But you should have been married.
But I could tell you why I'm not married, right?
Exactly, and I can too.
Right. But I think the difference with us is it's not as important to me as it is to you. But there's so many stuff.
But the fact that it's so important, like you just said, you understand, this is what you said that you didn't hear you say that was so profound. You understand the gravity of marriage.
But here's the deal.
And I do too.
I feel like this goes back to the buffet.
Hold on, and a person that's been divorced before.
Right. But I feel like you have to, that's why I said, have you met a woman that has 70%? Because at some point in time, it becomes a choice for you to focus on this woman. A lot of times we're dealing with so much people, like, you know, you might not be focused to get your wife because you probably have different women in your life that is playing a role.
But did you hear what I just said? I don't have that problem. So that's what I'm saying to most people.
You don't have what problem?
The problem where I have a problem selecting. That's not my problem. I just told you somebody I met in 3 months I was going to marry. I don't have a problem with that.
So okay, let's just talk about reality. So now, because we're here, and I'm definitely going back. I want to definitely speak upon when you said women should date a lot of people. I don't know. I want to be respectful because I don't want to know I don't know what you talk about on your podcast all the time. But are you seriously dating in this moment? Do you answer that or not?
Yes, I date.
Okay.
Yes, I
so are you dating? Seriously, are there any women you're dating right now that you feel like, okay, this woman can make it to the love of the terrace by the end of this year to get that ring that you have already?
It is funny. It is funny. Yo, Define said that. She's essentially telling him to settle. She don't really, I mean, I get it. This is more of a conversation than I guess, like one of her interviews. But she's essentially telling him to settle. And she doesn't really tell women on her show to settle.
Are there women that you are dating that you feel are strong contenders?
I would say, I don't like the way you just flipped this interview on me, Kendra G.
Well, listen, I wasn't trying to, but you
what
want
you
to
just did. Oh, yeah, we'll talk.
Okay.
I would say I don't think of it that deep. I go because I don't want to have. I don't make a relationship fantastical where I'm fantasizing over it. I literally relegate it and say, are we conducive friends? So in the stage I'm at right now, yes, I am dating people or getting to know. I was just say getting to know people. And when the day this interview is airing, which is we recording this March the 4th. March the 4th. Don't know when this episode is gonna be released. March the 4th. I am getting to know people that I don't know what the end result is.
Okay. So I say that to say, I think that's amazing. And men have that freedom, right? Sometimes women aren't given that freedom. I want to talk about that, but I don't want to lose this in transit because I've been meaning to say this. I love that you said earlier that women should date, right? And I said this on the Tamara Hall show, and I said I had a roster child. They was like, what? No, what it simply meant is like, I'm not in a relationship. There's men that I date. And that's true for me. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Like women, you have to date because what happens is if you are single and you date one guy, you start treating him like your boyfriend and your
Facts.
husband.
Facts.
And he's neither,
Right.
right? So now you're obsessing and now
What I do, like she said men had that options. Men don't. Not average. Average men don't. Majority of women do. Majority of women can have rosters. Majority of men don't. It is hard enough to get one woman, okay? One woman to even get in the talking stage with you. It is hard. I'm telling you this, okay? Let me tell you this. In 1 week, on dating apps and all that stuff, I have talked to, let's say, 5 women. 5 women, okay? In 1 week, I've talked to 5 women. 3 of those women were fake women. Fake women. The conversation ended in her and these women saying, "Oh, do you want me to help you with crypto services?" What? Is this a bot? Is this you went on a dating site to advertise crypto services with me? 3 of those women. 1 woman, after a few messages, just disappeared. So I'm just talking to 1 woman right now. And let's say that I said 1 week. All those other weeks, months, I got no matches. Most men don't get rosters. Most men can't even get a woman to finish a talking stage with. That's my personal opinion. Because average men, it's not that easy. Now for him, probably is because he has the money, the connections to back up his dating life where he can get to know multiple women. He can date, be friends with multiple women. Most men don't have that option. So it's not an option for men. No, it's an option for that man, but that's not an option for men. Now, I think that's an option for most women. Most women can have a roster of men. Most men can't.
you have decided to take yourself off the market. No, if a man really values you, he's going to take you off the market. He's going to take you off the market because he doesn't want anybody else to have you. And if he does not make that decision, you are a single woman. You should go out there and decide and date and learn. Like you said earlier. And I love that you said that because me as a woman.
I'm not saying, here's the thing. I don't know if I'm saying it's easy for him. I'm saying it gives him the options. So money gives you access to that room. So money just essentially gives you access to women. It puts you in the room with women. It gives you the women that, you know what, they will say hi to you. They will agree to go on a date with you. They will be interested in you. I'm not saying that it's going to give them burning desire. No, I agree. It's not going to give them burning desire, but it's going to let you put a foot through the door. That's what it does. For men, average men, you can swipe on hundreds of women. They won't even give a shit about you. You can, even in real life, you can talk to hundreds of women. They will ignore you. That's the thing. You can't even get your foot through the door. So that's what I really mean. Having the option, having the opportunity to date, to talk to multiple women. Just like I gave you the example why just talking to 5 women when 3 of those women were fakes and then 1 woman ghosts you and then you can only talk to 1 woman. Not really the opportunities, not really the options out there for men.
Saying that I got so much pushback from men. That's terrible advice. No, because what you want her to do, be sulking and crying over you in the house, twiddling her thumbs.
That's the thing. Dating apps, it's lucky. You gotta be lucky. I do agree with that.
Watching your Instagram page, seeing what you're doing. No, girlfriend, be amazing and be outside. And maybe it's a guy that you're just having coffee with. Like, men do date right. Like, they just date. Women start being like that. Like, if the guy if he's an Uber driver and he's like, yo, you got time later, if he's attractive enough, just go. It's just roller skating, girl. You're just going bowling.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't mean you're going to go down the altar, but what
Facts.
it does is it gets you out of your house. It gets you not soaking over a guy that's not thinking about you. I always tell people I have no men problems unless having too many options is one. I'm just keeping it real with you. I only deal with the men that like me. If you don't like me, I don't like you. Case closed. There's no issue.
That part.
Like, there's no issue. Like,
Simple.
Like, people nowadays are chasing people who don't want you. And honestly, this prize is the man the prize, the woman the prize. Whoever's being chased is the prize. So, girlfriend, if you're chasing him,
Yo, you know what? Why? I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm necessarily happy. I'm more content. I have my kid. I have a kid already. So I'm more content. I would want to be with someone, but I'm content. I'm not crying about it. I'm not fussed, right? That's the thing. I'm not fussed about it. If I get a woman, if I can talk to a woman, great. If I'm not, whatever. Life moves on.
he's the prize. If you're chasing her, she's the prize. But ultimately, you want a match where y'all both feel like we're both the prize. And if I lost you, this would be horrible. So I'm going to do my best to show up. Now I'm going to bring it back to you. I feel like, and you know, you're my friend. I've said this to you off the mic. Your career is very important. And I feel like you're excelling. I mean, you got me on your couch, right? That's not easy to do.
We ought to start laughing.
No, I'm joking.
But
no,
you're not.
no, I'm not, but I am. But no, you're amazing and you're growing. And we've talked before, and you said that whoever you marry will have to be a woman that you can do this with.
Absolutely.
Right? And I feel like there's a woman that can probably, like, let's just talk about Coretta Scott King. Like, Coretta Scott King was married to Martin Luther King, and I don't really know too many interviews she's ever done. Like, I can't really tell you the sounds of her voice. I know she was poised, she sat, she was very respectfully dressed. You know, I mean, that family, you know, we all owe them, you know, our lives as Black people, the sacrifices that they made.
Absolutely.
But she wasn't the woman that was also preaching alongside him, right? So I was saying, what if God sends you a wife, but this right here isn't her ministry? Like, she can pray over you. She's the one when you go home at night and she's like, this world is heavy. I got you, honey. But this part she can't do. Now you find the woman that can do this part. You know, she can go back and forth with you, but then the other part she can't do. Whereas, and she's willing to make the sacrifice to be the union. So it's like, you want to work a wife. Like, she got to be able to be all these facets. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not God, so I don't ever claim to speak in absolute of anything. But I feel like that sometimes could be your challenge, because I feel like you got the church woman down pat. You got a couple of those options. Then you got the podcast girl, but now you're trying to merge them together.
Is that hard?
I think that it's a decision, right? Because I feel like when you get married, right? What I've learned, there's always gonna be fine people, right? You might find somebody that's more attractive than your husband. You might find someone that's more educated than your wife, but you have already made this decision that that's your person. So even though when you interact with people who might have a trait that might be in a stronger area, it doesn't matter, because your wife or your husband is your person. So when a person like you has so many different women that can, I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like you have probably like 5 or 6 women that make up one woman that you can get. I go to her when I need prayer. I go to her when I need to talk about this podcast world. I go to her when I got to talk about travel. I go to her when I just need to laugh. So it's like you have all these different women that can fulfill. How do you now just say, that's the one, and I'm closing everybody else off for that one? It could be hard. It could be hard for a man like you, because that's where the buffet comes into.
And see, that's why I keep going back to, that's not a desire of mine. Like,
what's
that's
not a desire of
a
yours?
desire to have a buffet. That doesn't.
Yeah, but you do though have a buffet.
But I don't. That's what I'm saying.
You just told me that you're dating.
I'm doing
intention?
I did exactly what you said that you tell women to do.
Right.
It's the same thing. I'm saying that the reality is simply this. I keep saying this.
Where the camera at?
The camera up, you talk to that.
Making it.
The concept is this. In your mind, you believe something totally different because I am a man and men are the choosers. But think about it, way back in the olden days and biblical days and Elizabethan days, the women were presented with multiple suitors. And she would have to choose which one she wanted. Now, she would have to choose with the help of her family. Her father would be like, now this person, if we marry this person, we can cause a peace treaty with this. This person right here, this family is very wealthy and this can do this. This person right here, he's a peasant guy. I don't know how he got in the lineup, but all that stuff. And then a lot of times they would end up choosing whatever. Sometimes they would defy their father's wishes and may end up marrying the peasant or whatnot. Women have choices. What happens happens is that
Not all women, but okay.
Well, not all women, but I still believe that every woman still has a choice. She just don't want.
No, I think the majority, 99% of women, unless you are like absolute bottom of the barrel, disabled, ugly, then okay. But that's not most women. Most women have choices.
The one that don't want, like,
Okay.
There's always somebody that want you that you don't want.
But that goes for men too. There are men pursuing women that they cannot get.
Absolutely.
So
but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, we always look at it like men have all these options. And yes, they do, because they're the choosers. But men
don't have all these options, okay? This is the thing. If they don't want you, it's not an option. That's the thing, I hate that. Men don't have a lot of options. Please pay attention. Men, average men is consistent of most men. Average men don't have a lot of options. Because if someone don't want you, they were never an option. That's plain and simple. But most women have options. Why? Because you will always find a man that would want you. You will always find a man that even if he wants you just for sex, still kind of an option, regardless. Most men don't have that luxury.
have options too. They just may not like the options that are being presented.
Well, no, let's go here. Because one thing I've learned is dating is very individual.
Right.
And this is why your relationship status cannot be the being of your happiness, because the truth of the matter is, in the numbers game, every woman's not going to be a wife.
Absolutely.
Every man's not going to be a husband. So you can't wait to be happy because you're somebody's wife, because just in the sheer numbers game, everyone's not guaranteed that, right? So no, it's not true. Every woman does not get to choose to be a wife. There's just not enough of the supply for the demand.
No, I'm talking about, I guarantee you, I said that there's somebody that wants you that you don't want. That's all I said. So I'm saying that it's somebody that wants you.
Okay.
It's a generic thing. There's somebody that wants you. I didn't say you have to marry them. I didn't say you should marry them. I didn't even say it would be a good decision to even give them a chance. I'm just saying that sometimes we have this scarcity mindset, but there's always somebody that wants you that you don't want. And so what I'm saying, I'm just using that.
I gotta jump in. That's just not okay, because that goes.
True.
It is not true. Everybody is not wanted by somebody. Like
I'm telling you.
What? That's absolutely fucking delusional. Yes. I've said it before. Most men are attracted to most women. Let's not do these, a woman that's a one. Let's not do that shit. No, let's not do that shit. Most women have options. Most women can find a man that at the very least want to have sex with her. Very few women on this earth, men will find so heinous, he wouldn't even touch her. Not many women fall into that category. So that's stupid. Yes, most women have options.
Talk to too many women in this world that know I don't want him. But maybe they DMs and try to holler at him. They're like, I leave my red. I don't want him.
That's that. Okay, again, you're talking about the women that you're associating
I'm
with.
talking about let me tell you something. There is somebody in your DMs that you don't want.
Okay, for certain people.
That's all I'm saying. Just a basic statement.
Right, but what I'm saying is
somebody on your job that be asking you to take you out, and you just don't want them.
Okay, here's the truth though. That is not truth for every person walking the planet. Hold on, let me get.
Why would you make that kind of fucking statement? Every person that walks this planet? Seriously? This is what I'm saying. Kendra G is just as delusional as every fucking woman that goes onto her show. Why would you make a statement, every woman that walks this planet? Are you kidding me? Every woman that walks this planet? How is that even a logical conversation to have? That is stupid. To say that, oh, not every woman that walks this planet. What? I mean, yeah, no duh. What he's talking about is the majority of women. Most women, 99% of women have options. Yeah. Maybe that 1%, and that 1%, okay? That 1% could be maybe a million. We have over a couple billions of people in this world. So yes, that 1% maybe be a million, maybe even a couple million, but still, that doesn't. We talk in general. We talk. I hate it when women want to do this. They do that shit so they can be right. This is the thing when women do that shit so they can be right. They want to be illogical so they can be right.
Everybody,
but that's what we're saying, because when you say everybody, that's what everybody means. And the reality is, you know, there's a saying, and people hate when I bring this to light, there's somebody for everybody. Let me tell you who the somebody for everybody is. The person in the mirror. The only person that God has guaranteed that you're going to get is the person in the mirror.
Facts.
Everybody does not get a romantic partner. Now, let me tell you why this is important.
Exactly. Kendra is arguing in bad faith. 100%.
To understand and to get that message in your core. It will make you realize if you meet someone that is worth it, you will fight for it more because you know it's just not easy to find.
Facts.
Because of that mindset, I'm going to find my person. There's somebody for everybody. People treat people as disposable because I could just find something better. It's not the case. And we know people walking this planet. You don't need Kendra G to say that not everybody gets married. Not everybody gets a wife or a husband. We know family members in our family, women who have been single their whole entire lives, uncles who have been single their whole entire lives. So it's just not the truth. There's not even just enough men to these women. Like, how many times have you been to a dynamic of, let's just use, I don't want to use Essence Fest because that's kind of a woman's thing. We could use church. Let's use church, right?
It'd be 80% women.
80% women. So how can we say if there's 80% women, 20% men, 20, maybe half of those might be married, alternative lifestyles, who knows,
Yeah.
right? So now we have 80% women, maybe a 5% option of male pool.
Yep.
How can we say all those 80% women still somebody can, out of those 5%, it's just the numbers don't even align.
Well, I'm saying,
Well, that's stupid, okay? Her argument is within the church. Well, how about this? Don't go for a man in the church. This is the thing, I've said this before. Dating for women is easy. It is only hard because they make it hard. This is the thing. Controversial. A lot of women want six-figure men. A lot of women want six-figure men, right? How about share him? Share him. You know, do polygamy. I mean, come on. You want top-tier men? Share him. Seems simple. Share him. You want men to make six figures? You want a tall man? You want a good-looking man? Share him. So now multiple women have the man that she wants, the men that they want. Share him. This is a thing where I'm saying that women have options. Whether they want the man or not, still, they have options. You have men to choose from. You have men to choose from. It's just that it's within your own power that you eliminate a lot of men.
outside the church, they may see them at the job, maybe they at the gas
You're
station. Do
so
try to holler at them.
optimistic.
No, it's the truth. I'm just telling. It's the physical truth. I'm saying no matter what. I've seen. I used to do homeless ministry. It'd be homeless people with people. I'd be like, y'all be finding each other. It's like I'm saying that at the end of the day, but that we got pulled away from the point that I was really trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that when it comes down to me, you said, how are you looking for
Yes.
this woman that's
Yes.
supposed to be perfect? I'm not looking for perfection. The woman who
So
I
you
was
still
planning
haven't
on
answered to
marrying.
me. Then what is the challenge? Because you got to answer this so I could be clear.
It's not a challenge.
So what do? Okay. So what?
So that's why I said I want you to reframe how you
So
speak
what?
about.
Okay. So what is the lack? Like when you meet these women who are
It's not a lack. I answered that before. It's not a lack in who it is. It's a matter of this. They're just not my person.
So
See,
why?
that's-
Okay. So
that's how simple it has to
let
be.
me ask you this: because marriage is so your goal, why are you still dating them?
Well, I'm dating who?
Like you said, this person's not your person. So if you know that she can't be your wife, why do you still continue to date her?
I don't date them.
You just told me you're dating plenty of women. Well, dating women
I
that
said
can.
I'm getting to know people. Remember,
Okay.
that's the phase. You ain't asked,
Okay.
have you been dating for 5 years? No, it ain't gonna never last
Okay.
that long. That's why I said what happens with me, it happens quickly. So give me a couple of months, they no longer around. And I say no longer around, meaning they're no longer, we have those conversations and vice versa. They may say, listen, I don't believe that we're aligned and this. Cool. That's what I mean by it's healthy interactions. So like I always stay perpetually dating until I get married, period. So I'm going to always date, which means getting to know data collection, getting to know different women until I find the one and God says, that's it. It's a wrap. That's what I mean. It's the process. So when you look at somebody, and I always say that even with the way that you view, yes, access, yes, I got that don't mean nothing to me. It's the fact of saying, regardless of it, and I'll be transparent with you. In my counseling session I had, with my therapy session, my therapist said, my first therapy session, she said, you know what, Lateris, most people I'll meet with a lot of men, they go into relationships or they do whatever and they're fathering the person that they're dating or whatever. They have this fathering thing. She said, you're a spouse. You date with a spouse mentality. Like when you literally date people, she said you even do that with your mom. You don't have like a mom-son relationship. You have a spouse relationship. And I'll unpack that later on, how deep that is, because I'm not ready to share that yet. But just the covering that I provide for women. And any woman that I date, they walk away and they like, I felt covered, like a husband covers you. So it's a different level of access that I give a woman and I grant to her, because it's not just some simple, I'm just getting to know you. I'm getting to know you, but I'm getting to know you with the intention of, I do want this wife. And so as I'm getting to know that person, I go, hey, is this my wife or not? But we're learning each other on the basis and the foundation of friendship. That's what makes it so unique.
So look, so you got to break it down, because you the smart one in this conversation. I'm gonna just make it simple, because I keep asking this question and I really don't feel like you've answered it. So let me just ask, for example, as you're dating, what happens in one case in particular where you realize, oh, she's not my wife? Like, you got to break it down like that, because I feel like I hear what you're saying and it sounds great, but
I'll use the episode that I sat for an hour and unpacked in real time 3 days after it ended. That's the best example of it. In that relationship, she literally said she has to go through therapy. She has to go through EMDR therapy, because she realized how broken she is. And she said, if you stay with me, I have to let you go, Lateris. If you stay with me, I am going to break you in the process.
So that was her choice, not your choice.
Yes. That's why I said it can be both. It can be both ways. It can be
okay, but that's not the example I'm asking you for.
No, but hold on. You asked for the example of what's wrong with the situation. I keep saying, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
When you're dating people, they both, when you're having a healthy interaction with each other, that other person can say, hey, they don't feel like you're aligned with me. They may say that, hey, they may not feel like I'm the best option for them. And I may say the same thing. I said that a minute ago.
Right, but see, what I'm asking for is the clear moment. Like, you know what? She didn't want to move to Dallas. You know what? She don't want to have kids. You know what? I realized
all of the above, all of that.
So those are the moments.
Every last one of them. And
that's what I'm
vice
asking
versa.
you about.
But it's all of the above, though. It's situations where you can have a conversation, you can talk to somebody, and you may talk to somebody, and I may be getting to know somebody, and they say, well, you know what? I just don't like the fact that your whole platform is about relationships.
Right.
And I'm very private about relationships, and I just don't want people in our business like that.
No, I told you that. I said that your wife, because I think marriage, from what I've learned, is already, it got a lot, right? Like, it's already one thing for you with one person. Now you're going to add the world into the relationship, and that makes it even more difficult, because now you got people saying, girlfriend, well, I wouldn't let my man, you stay with him after he said this and that. And now, even though you're trying to be strong, but this is why sometimes celebrity relationships don't last, because the world's, and a lot of people are miserable, they're communicating on your marriage. So I feel like it's so protected. Like, if I ever go there, people will probably find out so late. Like, y'all would not know about my wedding. Like, I don't think I'm going to do anything big, because I will protect it, because it would be so important to me. I wasn't always that way, but as my public figureness grew, I was tired of unsolicited opinions. Like, you don't even know me. So how are you going to give an opinion on my life, and you don't even know me in real life? So to put my relationship out there and for you to talk about it, that is so much pressure. So I think that is another challenge too, because the covenant is going to be challenged by so many different opinions. But I could be wrong. I want you to get married, child. I got the dress for the wedding day. Like, we got everything but the bride, child. We got the venue, we got the location, we got the time. We done made the invitations. Save the date. Now, wife, where you at? Because we've been looking for you for 5 years. We need you to show your face. Now, you got to know how to pray. You got to know how to talk on the microphone, okay? You got to be able to have tough skin, because all the girls that want to be his wife going to be mad at you because you got the job that they wanted. So, girlfriend, but I need you to show, because I'm tired, okay? I'm tired of...
Till it's permanent. That's a conversation.
Child, this gonna be Casper the Friendly Ghost, probably, child, until we see Jesus. I think now that, again, I used to, listen, the truth of the matter, I used to want to be famous. Now I just want to be rich, okay? I don't need nobody in my business. I don't need to be famous, because what I learned with fame, like I said earlier, as a public figure, is unsolicited opinion.
I hate it when women say healing phase. I really do, because I think, in personal opinion, I think most women are terrible at self-reflection. I don't think most women heal. I do not think most women heal. They are terrible at the healing journey. They do not know how to self-reflect.
Yes. Constantly, and people, you can't make an opinion when you don't know the whole story, and you're never gonna know the whole story. So I think some of the most successful relationships are not on social media. Like, they're not broadcasting everything, and I've learned this. I learned that. So I think if something is precious to you and sacred to you, you don't share it, because now we're at you don't just belong to you no more. Like, if like people are gonna take this and they're gonna make clips and they're gonna chop it up like Lateris, like your wife is gonna have to share you with the world, right?
And what's so great about that, I saw Morris Chestnut's wife on the Sherry Shepherd show, and Sherry was like, can we, she said somebody else's husband, the wife said, y'all, we can share them. So Sherry said, can we share Morris? And then the wife said, nuh-uh. And then Sherry's like, all right, I'm just playing. But she was making the comment, the wife said, I love the fact that y'all adore Morris. He's an amazing guy or whatnot. I see why all y'all love him. And that's why I love him too. There's certain people that are grace for that. If a woman isn't grace for that, whoever that woman is in my life, she's grace for this. This is nothing for her. That's what I mean. So what happens is that's why I said you can't get caught up with just the quote unquote opportunities and look at them as options. They're not options because it's very specific on what God said that I'm going to have. And so what happens is people get weary in their well-doing and they be like, I'm tired. I'm finna just pick somebody, you. And then you try to force them to be the wife that you need them to be. And the Bible says this. Now I got to go into the word. The Bible says, I will give you a suitable helper. Okay. A suitable helper, meaning that it can't just be anybody. If I am a gynecologist, I'm not looking for a mechanic to teach me how to be a gynecologist. It just don't work. Right. And it'd be like, I need you to come help me. Hey, you fix cars? Come help me. I'm gonna go work on this woman. It'd be like, I don't know how to do that. But you can get a medical assistant that has some training in order to help the gynecologist do what they do. So the reality is whoever, and you'll find it's the most beautiful thing because I've had so many couples on my podcast that reflect that. For instance, Fawn Weaver and her husband, she sat down and I said, could you have built this $1 billion business without him? She said, absolutely not. I said, sounds good. But you're intelligent. You're a go-getter. You did this, you whatever. And she said, I still couldn't have done it. She said, God knew that I needed to meet my husband at 20-something years old in order to build in me and be able to provide what it is that he provides that was able to create this $1 billion business.
I believe that to be true. I believe that, I believe that to be true. I believe, everybody has an individual God assignment though, right? So that's how it showed up for her. Just to give clarity, when you're talking about Morris Chestnut's wife, is Idris Elba's wife that says he's our, like she's the one that cheers her husband because everybody loves Idris Elba. But no.
But think about some women can do that. Some women will have so much insecurity to be like, I'm sick of these women like this because he's going to end up leaving me for this. And think about, you have this guy that's considered.
Many years ago, he said this. He said, you should never be arguing. If you're arguing with a woman about your man, that's not your man. Facts. Because men always say, oh, you're acting insecure. No, you're not laying down the foundation for me to feel secure. That's the issue. I could deal with the other women who's trying to holler at you.
Yo, Ivan, what's up, my brother? Yeah, I don't really care for her app either. Her video is just entertaining. Her videos are just good materials to react to.
It's your reaction. Do you say, nah, I'm good. This is my wife. You won't be disrespectful. This is my girl. This is my child's mother, whatever it is. So I think that when it comes to insecurity, if the man lays down the foundation, then there's no room for error.
Sometimes. And I would say sometimes because if a man, I've seen too many situations.
I do agree. Idris Elba is the top tier guy.
And I've been in it myself where the man or myself have shut down stuff, even made enemies with, hey, don't you ever do this, whatever. But that woman has an insecurity.
You start knocking down but you gave him the pedestal of husband on day one. He never earned that. No, let the man earn your heart, and then he earns the treatment that you would desire to give that one man. And then now that you're not giving it out so much, now it's gonna be more sacred to you. But when everybody's your husband and everybody's your wife, what's the point of really making somebody your husband and somebody your wife? It's supposed to be this special thing that person gets.
The word that you use now, and
now you pull out the phone, child. I need to pull out the phone. If you're gonna pull out a phone,
you said heartless because I want to make sure that we don't create toxic environments and dating environments.
Okay, let's break it down.
Because the word heartless means displaying a complete lack of feeling or consideration, and so I can't have a complete lack of consideration. Now the Bible says, above all things, guard your heart, from out of it.
An amazing father. My father would die for me in a split of a second. My father would be in that hospital cussing everybody out to make sure I survive. He does not play about me. So if my father is living, if I get married, that's no longer my father's decision. That's my husband's decision.
Teach.
So if I'm going to take my father out of that role to protect my life, you got to be the man that I trust to be the protector. And a lot of times women are like, well, he's tall. He could pop bottles on a fun day, Sunday. None of that matters when it comes to your husband. That's why I'm saying y'all trying to be wives to men who don't want to be husbands. And men, you're focusing on women who don't want to be wives. And because you know why? They're focusing on the exterior, the looks, the shell. When people who are married know it's the essence inside that trumps everything, right? You can't play with it. I feel like people just play.
I was in the shower crying and interceding on behalf of them before they came on the podcast. He walked me through how to do it. I took them all the way through from when they first met and how they met and all this type of stuff. And I began to unpack it. Then I went all the way through. We talked about the problems that they have, why they want to get divorced and all that. Then I came all the way to the end and said, now imagine yourself, close your eyes real quick. Christmas, y'all no longer spending Christmas together.
I'm supposed to close my eyes?
You ain't supposed to close your eyes. You ain't supposed to close your eyes. I said, so here it is. Now Christmas. Now the kids are deciding which one they're going to. Thanksgiving. Are they going to go to your house, Jewel? Are they going to go to Tavia's house? And I said, now imagine that right now. And I said, and how do you feel? And with tears in their eyes, they were just like, empty, feel lost. I said, that's what is on the line right now if y'all decide to call it quits. We addressed the issue. Then I said, hey, I'm going to sponsor y'all therapy. Y'all want y'all to go to therapy and all that type of stuff. Now the marriage is thriving. It's absolutely beautiful. But the only way I was able to do that is because I've been through a divorce before. I understand the power of marriage, but I also understand the power of divorce. It's a death. So then when you look at me and you go, why you ain't married yet? Because I want the person that will have my best interest when we say, hey, should we pull the plug on the tears? No, he's a fighter. Give him about 3 days. He got it. How you know that? I know my husband. I know him. I know him. I know what the pillow talks that we had. And he told me, if I'm ever in this type of situation, give me 3 days. Give me, if the doctor say this, give me 5 days. And then the person saying, wow, my husband prophesied this moment. She has to be a person that can hear from God. Or even if I never said it, that she has to be in tune with God enough for God to be like, no,
I know you're seeking me. I want you to wait right now. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Or it may be the best decision. Pull the plug.
Right. You know what? I think that this is on my spirit to say, because you gave her example earlier. I forget her young name, the lady that's a billionaire.
Oh,
and you
Fawn
said,
Weaver.
Yes, Fawn Weaver. And you asked her the question, would you have built this company without your husband? She said no.
She said I couldn't have.
She couldn't have. I know I would not be where I am today had I gotten married many years ago. I would not be where I am today because my life would have had a cap and I would have had to focus on my family first. I wouldn't have been able, this has been a very individual journey to get to where I am. And I had to do it in this season of not being a married woman.
Right.
But it doesn't take away, like, you know, I think sometimes I feel as though men get grace. Men get the grace to show up in this world and to conquer it and to become the highest level that God birthed them to be, but not always women.
I don't get no grace from you.
Well, I give you grace.
No.
This is a thing where I hate that. Men, we can look at the world. Men are made to conquer the world. Men are made to conquer the world. To shape the world for the betterment of him and his family. Men are do that. It's only in modern time where women have ambitions. That's the thing. So yes, you say, oh, it's only men that have this grace that, you know, they can have, you know, conquer the world. Yes, because it's men. Olden time, because conquering the world requires force. Conquering the world requires force. So yes, it's a man shit. That's why they call it masculinity. This is why when you see women in the workplace and they are at high positions in the workplace, the CEOs, the bosses, the woman that has like $1 million to her name, whatever, earning $1 million, she has to gain masculine characteristics so she can be able to conquer the world. Because it's a man shit. It's a man thing. It's not men are not men. It's not like men have grace to conquer the world. No, it's men are made to conquer the world. Men are made to conquer the world. It requires force. Only in today's civilized age, where you don't necessarily need force, but you still need the masculine mentality to conquer the world. You still need the masculine mentality, the aggressiveness, the combativeness, the disagreeableness, the narrow-mindedness, you know, to accomplish certain ambitions. You need the strength, the will to do it. So it's a man thing. But this is, again, that is why women that are like high-level professionals, they have a lot of masculine characteristics because they need to adopt that to accomplish high-level ambition.
You said you don't want to be married.
Well, again, okay.
Is that grace? You automatically assume I don't want to be married because I'm fulfilling my Adam season where I'm naming the Adams.
I know I don't want to get lost, but I do want to answer this. What I say to you, and I stand on this, is I feel like your challenge is going to become you have so many options, and I feel like it's almost like she didn't fit. Okay, the next one's coming. Okay, the next one's coming, and maybe that can be truth. But me personal, I can be wrong. So I'm not absolute. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but you know I'm gonna say it. I think the title of husband again is more important for you than the reality. I think that it goes along with the brand. It goes along with all the things that you preach. And I do believe there's a part of it. But I'm sorry, I just cannot understand how at this moment, every single woman has been to a certain degree disposable.
Wait, see, that's the language that you use. I'm gonna ask you a question real quick. Do you consider yourself a wife?
I could be a wife.
I say could. You consider yourself a wife?
I could be a wife because you have to honor my answer because not everybody deserves for me to be their wife.
I didn't say deserve to be their wife. Do you consider yourself a wife?
The answer is I could be one.
Could be one.
Because sometimes you're not going to get a wife out of me because you don't deserve it.
So my response to that,
that's stupid. What? You could be? This is why we have men nowadays. I could be a woman. What? No. Is it you are or you not? You have the characteristics. You have the person. No, Kendra cannot be a wife. Kendra cannot be a wife. She doesn't have the feminine nature, the feminine mindset. You can see on this. She's very argumentative. She's very blunt. And it's fine. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but that's her personality. She doesn't have the feminine nature, the agreeable nature. She doesn't have the soft touch. She doesn't have the mentality. She has a very combative nature. You can't be a wife. You can't.
Response is this: there's no way you can see me as a husband. So
There's no way I can see you as a husband.
No, because listen, this is what you just said. You said that the stuff that you're discerning. Listen real quick.
Okay.
The stuff that you said
Oh,
you're
God.
discerning about me that you think is accurate.
I said, but I also said I'm not absolute. And I said I'm not God.
Exactly.
This is just Kendra's observation.
Exactly.
So it doesn't mean it's facts. I've said that a couple
and that's why I'm
times.
talking to you as Kendra. That's why I
Okay.
said, do you? Because at the end of the day, if the things that you think, because even the language that you're using, where you said, what's the word you just used about the women that was what?
Disposable.
Disposable. No woman I ever date is disposable. See, I don't even use that terminology. Every person I date is an experience. It's a healthy experience. They walk away with great experiences. They go, man, this was great.
Well,
and they still want to
okay,
be my
but-
friends afterwards.
so-
Hold on, I just want to address that. Nobody I ever deal with is disposable.
Okay.
It just didn't work out to marriage. But it worked out for the season that it was supposed to be with whatever it was. My ex-wife, who I have admitted that I cheated on multiple times in my marriage, when she talks to me, she says, you're an amazing man. Why? Because of the experience that she had, the sin that I committed, the sins that I did, the lack of care that I had with her heart still doesn't override who I am as a man, to where she literally says, and you're a great dude, you're an amazing man. It's the craziest thing that I've ever experienced, because I'll be like, because I'll see myself, the problem that I have is I see myself as my faults before I see myself as the good, because I'm a perfectionist by nature. But what God has done and has allowed me to see, and the people I've interacted with, they go, of course you're not perfect, but what I see in the experience I have with you overrides anything else that you may have done inaccurate or improper or whatever it is with me. So what I'm saying is that I don't look at people as disposable. We're all on this journey together to learn. If my heart's intent isn't to willingly come into your life to destroy you, cheat on you on purpose, say, I ain't gonna never be faithful, I'm gonna take these vows with you, but I'm gonna cheat on you every step of the way. That's my heart posture. If that was my heart posture, I'm a wicked person. But because when people experience me, whatever things that I do wrong, they go, his heart is in the right place, he just has a weakness in this area. And so when I date people, it's the same thing, because I get a chance to interact with these people, learn these people, experience, I get to add a wrinkle to my brain and learn something. Hopefully I add wrinkles to their brain, they learn something, they go, this was a great experience. And a lot of times people may end up marrying somebody after dating me, they go, you helped me to see the things that I really desire in a husband. It didn't work out with you and I, but I recognize that what I experienced with you, I don't want to let go of. I want that in the next relationship.
So can I jump in? Okay, so I'm not a man, so let me stay there. I want to be as
Hopefully not, because this will be awkward with you.
So, okay, in my experience, I have male friends who are husbands, and I have male friends who I know will never get
Absolutely.
married, right? And there's key characteristic differences, right? The male friends who don't desire marriage, they date often, and they date under the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna date her, and as soon as something's not right, there's another girl coming, and that's their mindset, right? That's their mindset. They are like, okay, I like you until I don't, and if I don't, God, there's 1,000 women, so I'll go on to the next. The husbands that are my friends, there's times when they got to take a moment, but there ain't no way out. Now, I always want to be as respectful, because I don't know everything that you share, but you was once married. For whatever reason, that marriage is no longer together. But one would challenge, because women get challenged like this on my show. You had a husband. You left that husband because you wanted to find something you thought was better, but you had a husband, but you filed for divorce or whatever the case may be. And at the end of the day, now you outside and you're trying to find another husband. And sometimes it happens, but these women get judged for leaving the man that was willing to be their husband, because we know there's husbands, there's boyfriends, there's sneaky links, like there's all different, like we're gonna break it down, because some men just aren't born to be, and a lot of times the woman really wants the sneaky link to be the husband, but he was
Absolutely.
never gonna be your husband. He's the sneaky link, okay?
Facts.
That's what it is.
That's the job title.
So now going back to you, because you were once married, and again, doesn't mean it can't happen for you again. The odds are in your favor because quantity is in your favor. But one will say
God is in my favor.
God is in your favor. One would say you had a wife. For whatever reason, there was a difference within that dynamic that y'all decided to go separate ways.
Absolutely.
No judgment. But you had a wife.
Absolutely.
So that could have been the woman you're supposed to go to the death do you part of the valleys, but there was individual decisions that was important. No judgment, that y'all had to part ways for that individuality to grow, because that was important. But y'all put those individual things over the marriage
Absolutely.
that you had. So this is nothing. This is not a judgment conversation. But when I was talking to you
I also don't think that this man is very husband mindset. I don't think so. He just said that he cheated on his wife as well. And it's like, this is the thing where, this is where I'm saying this, okay? I've always believed this. The more option a man has, the less likely he is to settle down with just one option. Just my opinion. The more option a man has, I believe the less likely he will settle down with just one option. I'm sorry, it hasn't been proven in mass, at least in my view, to be the case where a man can have hundreds, thousands, millions of options, yet he will gladly shun all options for just one woman. I don't think it's in men's nature. I don't think it's in men's nature. I honestly believe majority, I'm not saying all, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying individual cases. I'm saying in mass, in general, The more option a man has, the less likely he is to just settle for one option. So, you know, hasn't been proven otherwise. I think men are. I do agree that men in general are just as faithful as their options. I'm gonna hold men accountable for that. I believe that that's true. Again, I'm not saying every man, but you know, men are just as faithful as their options.
As my friend, I feel as though your career is important.
Not really.
I do agree with that. If he has a player mindset, okay? If he has a player mindset, it will. That's what I'm saying. Men that has options usually have a player mindset. Men that have options usually have a player mindset. So he will rarely ever figure, why would I settle down? Men with money. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Men with money is like, if you're a man with money, you are also a man with options. So why would you settle down?
Okay, well, my assessment is wrong. My discernment is his career is important, and the woman that will fit his wifely duties will also have to align with your career. And I just say, not saying it can't happen, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, their careers align, but the fact of the matter is, how about this? I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna come to your wedding. I wanna be there. I'm not trying to be like in circles, and maybe I missed the answer. When you meet women that could potentially be the woman to make it end of the year, what is the like, is it like, oh, I woke up and her breath stank in the morning?
Nope.
Like, you have to give a clear.
I don't, because I've
you
said
don't?
it. No, I don't have to give a clear response to it because.
Well, that's why. But let me tell you. But that's why I guess I'm lost.
No,
And
because I said it. I told you. I said all of the above. It's the situations where you're talking about moving. Hold on, listen. Because you asked a question, I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
It's the situation where moving may not be the best option. We live in two different places. Neither one of us willing to move. That's not gonna work. Somebody else, like I said, the episode that I really broke down in detail, she ended with me because she said, "I will destroy you. I need healing. I need to go through what I need to go through." She had to go through it wherever she got to go through. And in the process, the thing that you was talking about, the person that's saying, "But I ain't gonna let you go. I wasn't gonna let her go through that. We can go through therapy together. I can rock with you while you in therapy. I'll go through therapy to deal with how to deal with you while you're going through therapy." That's the heart posture I have. But if it ain't willing to work, it just ain't willing to work. She said this to me, and I've never shared this. She said, "You always said this to me." She said, "This is how I know what to say in order to make you let me go." I said, "Don't say it." She said, "I'm finna say it. I don't think you're my husband. I don't fight for that." When someone says that to me, it's a wrap.
Right.
But she did that to release me. She knew that that's the only thing. I said, if you ever get to a point to where you say, "I'm not your husband," there's no more fight in me.
Well, thanks, wife, for stopping by, my brother. Hope you have a good night.
Because I ain't fighting for a wife if I'm not your husband. So the reality, and that's what.
Again, I'm not God. I never pretend to know it all. I never pretended to know it all. But I feel like men who say they want to be husbands, the challenge I said earlier is it's the buffet. It's like, okay, another thing can be coming. The marriages that I know that have lasted for a long
I knew you were gonna go walk Odin. Have a good walk, my brother.
time have gone through the hard times. It wasn't like some might be an outside child, but they're still married. You know, might have been infidelity or whatever the case may be, but they stayed married. It's like the Will and Jada is extreme, but in the extreme of it, they're still married, right? They're just the famous couple that we use because if I say Will and Jada, everybody says, but at the end of the day, guess what?
They're still married.
They're still married. And I feel like that's what's getting lost when people say they want what our grandparents had. They stayed married no matter what. And I don't feel as though our generation operates with that mindset. And the best thing to do is if you know that that's not you, then don't even enter into that covenant. Like, don't even play with it. If you know that it's something outside of what really matters to you is more important, then don't assign your life to that person's life.
And so let me say this as we get ready to wrap up, because the interesting thing about this, and then God just revealed that to me, you're trying to assess me through the lens of, listen, you're trying to assess me through the lens of the typical guy.
Let me ask you this question. Why does
Oh, Pitbull. Not bad. That's pretty cool.
it matter to you? But I want to get this because we spend a lot of time here. Why does it matter to you so much what I think?
It don't. That's what I'm about to tell you. Why did I wrap up?
Okay.
Listen,
But you spend a lot of time challenging,
you kept
convincing me.
asking.
No, I was trying to move on, and you said
you kept asking.
Wait till
We're
y'all
gonna
watch
play
this.
it back.
You're gonna watch this back,
Every
and you're gonna
time.
see he go back to say, "But just what you said about me."
Of how rooted I am in my experience. The experience is Albandir and his wife had Amber. They were on the podcast, and she said that God told her that basically when he does it for her, brings her husband, she's going to know that it was nobody but God that could have done it. When you look at the numbers, you look at the numbers of whatever I have on social media and all that, I got 1.4 million followers across all platforms. Why he can't find a wife with that? Because God ain't said it's time yet. If I'm truly submitted to God and I say, God, not my will, but let thy will be done. And then I'll have stuff with my own intentions to say, and I want to be married by the end of this year because as a man, I can decree and declare what I want. And then if it don't happen, I ain't gonna be like, well, God, you lied to me. God said you made up that timetable. But the reality is, it's still letting people know I'm in the heart posture that I want to be. If you hear me stop saying I want to be married, then be worried, because that means I'm for the streets. As long as you keep hearing me say I want to be married, that is my heart posture as a husband. So the reality is that I know what God says and I'm submitted to what God says, and I can only move when he tells me to move. It's people that I thought was my wife, people that I was like, this could be a great person. And I move with intentionality and it don't work out 2 or 3 months later. I don't cry about it. I say, okay, God, that wasn't the one. And
If I ever get a dog, I want a corgi. I know it's not no manly ass dog, right? But I think a corgi is very cute.
and it's not always motivated by me ending it.
But can I jump in? Can I jump in? So I want to just say this. One thing I do want to correct. We have a friendship.
Absolutely.
So no, my assessment wasn't really off of other male experiences. It's about our experience. And one thing I said earlier, and I told you this earlier, like my friend QDZ, who's been married for 16 years, he said, if people are serious about marriage, they shouldn't talk about a ring or a wedding day until 5 years from now. So I say that to say a lot of women fantasize about the wedding day and the ring. And in our conversations, the things that you talk about when you talk about marriage, at the end of the year, I'm going to have a wedding. I'm going to have this ring. It's the symbols. But to me, those are just the shiny things that really don't have anything to do with marriage. And I would just challenge you, and I could be wrong, take those things out of the equation. It's not about the
Talked about, I was writing a letter
to his invisible wife.
to this invisible wife. You said, listen to this. Dear future wifey, this is a year we finally crossed paths, not just in past.
Yeah, okay. What do you guys think? It was a little interesting, but start getting into. I thought they were going to talk more about Kendra G because I wanted to react to who she is more, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I think they're cute. I think they're cute.
What's going on, everyone?
Let's do I like this. Let's do some Godfather. Let's check out some Kevin Samuels.
But
Of course you
I
have
would
it.
say
So, how many kids do you have?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
So, your name is Dakota?
Yes.
Are you North or are you South? Which one are you? And how long are you divorced?
I am.
How long you been divorced?
4 years.
Okay. So, what's your question?
My question was I just wondered if it would just be better for me just to simply wait until my daughters were older to date.
Well,
And just to explore, because I have dated, and interestingly enough, the the men that I've met, they're usually older, they're stable, they have, some of them have lived at least 2 lives, and that's fine because I'm 40, so that's to be expected.
You're how old?
I'm 40.
How old is your youngest daughter?
9.
How old is your oldest daughter?
12.
See, here's the issue with.
Yeah. So what I was gonna, are you done talking?
Well, I mean, if you met a guy that you were fond of and he was fond of you, where's their father?
Oh, he's in their life.
But would he want would you or him be all right with a man in the house of 2 teenage girls in development?
I haven't had a conversation with him about that.
Your ex-husband?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him specifically about that because I haven't.
But what do you think he would say?
I don't know, actually, to be honest. Okay. I don't know. He has somewhat of a passive personality.
Right. Is he very protective of his daughters?
No. Well, you know what? I don't know yet because I haven't really had a situation where he had to be.
Well, are you guys co-parenting successfully?
Yeah.
How often do you interact with him?
A couple of times a week. That's how often he gets them.
When's the last time you guys actually,
Probably back in I don't know, 2013, years ago.
That's the last time. That's the last time you had him.
These
The
nuts.
last time I slept with him, yes.
That's the last time you got these. Really, 2013.
2013.
7 years ago was the last time you scratched that itch.
Probably more like 6. I would say 2014 because that was the end. So
So, and who have you been seeing since then?
I've just dated, but I think I've been
Okay, ma'am, you're 40. 6 years ago was 34. Woman's sexual prime is 35. Come on now.
What's your question again?
Who are you hooking up with?
Who?
Because if it wasn't your ex-husband, that's okay. But you haven't had any long-term relationships.
No.
You've been in your sexual prime. Look, I've had my fair share of experience, and come on, sis. That's all I'm trying to understand is. What I'm trying to understand is how close you guys are, and how realistic you're willing to be. If you're saying you haven't hooked up with him for 6 years, okay. But you say you see him every couple of weeks.
I see him every few days. That's how often he gets
Every
his
few days. Does he have a wife or a girlfriend?
No.
All right. So, it is. Are you guys still attracted to one another?
I am not attracted to him.
Has he changed physically?
As in how he looks?
Yes.
I mean, he's got his hair and everything.
Okay. So we keep on moving. We keep on moving. And the net of it is this. A man that involved with his daughters has a comfortable relationship with his ex-wife. And he knows that you have not had a history of being out there on the wild side with me.
Well, he knows I date.
Date,
But I mean,
date is one thing, but nobody staying over.
Oh, no. I have daughters here. Absolutely.
That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm saying. Your ex-husband knows that you aren't going to have men in the house with his daughters.
No, absolutely not.
But that would change. And that question is, how would he react if he felt like that was going to start happening?
You know, he might actually feel some kind of way about that.
Of course he would.
You are right.
So this is why I often say to women, why did you guys get divorced?
Over money. He doesn't keep a job, so it became very difficult financially.
He can't keep a job.
I'm talking for.
You gave him 2 kids. Why didn't he have a stable job before the first kid? This is the stupidness. You gave him 2 kids. Who gives a shit if he couldn't keep a job? You thought he was good enough to give 2 kids to. It's like, make it make sense. I can never understand women like this. You, like, please understand the level of responsibility, the level of, like seriousness of having kids. You thought he was good enough to have 2 kids with. So, but yet you divorce him because he couldn't keep a job. It's like, so you married him. You didn't stick with him between what is it? The vow. Sickness and health, rich and poor. You couldn't stick it out with him? Like, is he poor? Is he not have a job now? It's like, seriously. You took vows. You had 2 kids with him. I mean, come on. This is the thing where this is why I say women are not as loyal as they constantly say they are.
Foreclosure, bankruptcy, all that type of stuff, you name it. So it was just
Oh,
difficult.
okay. Okay. So he doesn't keep a job. All right. But he's active in his daughter's life, even post-divorce.
Yes.
So are you living at your means now?
I'm sorry, say that question
Are you living
again?
at your means now?
At my means, as in if I can afford my lifestyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been foreclosed or anything like that post-divorce?
No.
Then do you make room for the possibility that maybe you guys are living outside of your means? Because the picture you've painted is of a man who, after divorce, is around every couple of days. That is a hell of a consistent man after a divorce of how many years? 4?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And he's over there 3 times a week. 52 weeks out of the year, he's over there almost as much, more than a lot of, come on, man. You divorced him over money. That's a petty thing to divorce over.
Well, he doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're basically saying the measure of your man is money.
The measure of my man is, can he provide for his family?
Well, okay. Now, when you got married, did you tell him you expected him to pay all the bills? Did y'all have that conversation?
I never told him I expected him to pay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell him that.
But he's a good father. Yes or no?
He's a good father. Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So I got to ask you, Miss Dakota, what's more important for your daughters?
You mean
what's more important for your daughters, a paycheck or a good father?
Them having a roof over their head.
Oh no, you got the roof covered.
Oh, so I'm supposed to take care of the children and a grown man.
Oh well, you know, see,
You're doing it now. It's like, here's the thing. Are you taking care of him now? Are you taking care of him now? It seems like he's taking care of himself. I mean, what does that mean? You literally already have the roof. You literally, this is why I say women's money means absolutely jack shit. They will never give, men don't get it. Men don't receive women's money. So really, this is why men do not value women's careers, women's money, women's accomplishments. Because men don't benefit from it. You literally have a roof already over your head. He's a good father. So what's the difference? Because now if you are with him, you expect him to do it. You expect him to do it. You should have talked about that before you got married, before you had kids. That should have been laid out already. The problem is you already had kids with him. You already got married with him. It's like, seriously, deal with the consequences of your actions. He's a good father. That's all that matters.
see,
Okay.
here's the thing. See,
Okay.
Okay, no, don't get
That's
out
fair.
with me. Well, what I'm saying is you're doing it already and you ain't got no man.
Well, I'm not taking care of a man. I
And
take care
you
of-
gotta, no, see, those vows you took didn't say, you can leave because of money issues. See, we got too many of our sisters that treat black men as though, if you ain't paying all the bills, that's why I start putting that question out there, letting black men know. You better understand that black women will never come out and say it, but they expect you to pay everything. And if you don't, they'll leave you. Doesn't matter how good of a man you are, how good of a father you are, they will leave. Now, the funny thing is, you basically paint the picture of a man who has damn good character, but you throw him away because he ain't paying no bills. But the funny thing is, are you working any less hard than you would be if he was there?
Am I working?
Are you working any? Yeah. If he was there, would you still have to do what you're doing? You still have to go to work.
Yes.
All right. So him not being there is not a net gain for you. It's a loss.
Okay.
You don't have a man in the house or any help.
Okay.
You're a grown woman, right? I mean, let's be honest. You
I am.
still are working, paying, but you are saying it like, I'm supposed to take care of a grown man. Well, would you rather? So a man is nothing but a check. He's supposed to pay the bills. Ma'am, it sounds like it or not, I get what you want. But what you got is what you got. You married the man. You got kids. He's a good father. But you prioritize money, so you divorced him over money. And here's the net. Why is all this coming to? Why is it going to come to bear? When you talk about dating and people start getting into your history with your ex, and this comes out. When this comes out, the guys who are worth a damn, they're gonna be like, oh no. They're gonna be like, nah, this woman left her husband because of money. So that's cool. Did you gain any weight in the marriage? So
no.
So and that's the thing. And as long as you're cool with being judged that way, because let's say if you were to go out and get married or find somebody, I hope you're all right with being left the same way. Because of a younger woman gaining weight or whatever, but you haven't said the man's a bad man. But I get it. I'm not telling you to take care of a grown man, but I'm telling you right now, you don't sound like you're doing nothing else. It sounds like you were better off married. Something in your ego wouldn't allow you to take care of no grown man. I feel you. I hear you, but I got to ask you, Dakota, were your daughters happier with daddy in the house?
They're always happy. I mean,
no, ma'am. That
So
is
what
a
he
disingenuous answer. See, we were doing good until you did that.
what did I do?
I asked you a direct question. Were your daughters happier with daddy in the house?
Yes.
And you would not give that man credit. You deflected. See, that's so petty. That wasn't about your daughters. That was all about you.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
So do you think that in a marriage, so you know how you were getting ready to ask me if I gained weight or, whatever other questions you were going to ask me. I'm just trying to get my words right. So I guess because there's a part of me that does feel like, okay, because when it comes to a woman, a wife, if she gets to changing and she gains weight, or if there's not enough sex and things after the children, if anything in her mood changes after she becomes a mother, if she changes in any way for the worse, and then he makes a choice to step out or leave or not do anything, I mean, is that okay? Because sometimes I feel like if a
Yo, Joss, what's up, my brother? Missed ya.
if a man changes and he's not on top of his responsibility, I feel like
Here's the thing. If a woman change, men still stay. You do not, it's like there are so many relationships. Men still stays. Majority of, this is the thing. Majority of relationships, women leave, not men. Men aren't breaking up relationships. It is women. Plenty of men have stayed in sexless marriages. And there are, I'm not saying a lot, but there's still plenty of men that don't even cheat when they're in sexless marriages. Because a lot of men, they know it's a duty. They know it's a duty. They know that you have to just suck it up. They don't love it. They don't want it. Plenty of men take it as a duty. They have to suck it up. It's because I said this before. Men will sacrifice their own happiness for their family, for their wife. While women, never. They will sacrifice their man, their family, for their own happiness. It is proven in divorce statistics.
Like particularly as a Black woman, that we're supposed to just normalize the dysfunction and just kind of go with it, even if you're in jeopardy of losing your home, or you.
Is this a question?
No,
see what I allowed you to do, ma'am, is I allowed you to talk it all out, and you're starting to have a moral conflict with your own argument.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I'm good at what I do.
Okay.
I'm good at what I do. I let you get it all out because what you're having to say. Well, see, what you couldn't say is none of that happened. You're giving me a hypothetical, and I'm going to ask. No, I'll let you. Oh no, ma'am, I'll let you speak for 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Oh, okay.
None of that happened in your relationship. So hypotheticals don't matter to your individual situation. Let's just put it on the wood.
Okay.
Your ego cannot handle a man who's not paying the bills. That's it. So for that, you broke your, no, I'm still going. That's it. It's not about character. It's not about family. It's not about the children's happiness. It's about your ego not being able to accept the fact that this man is under earning. That's it. It's not as though you said this man was a lazy, good for nothing, shiftless dude sitting here playing Madden all day. He's an active, good father. There are women, come back and look at the chat room and see what women are saying. I'm not looking, but I can pretty well guess what the women who watch this platform are saying. Oh my God, sis, basically you are putting money, and I'm going to say this, you ain't rich. It's a very petty thing you divorced for. And see, that's what this whole COVID pandemic thing has kind of helped Black people realize, that all this shit that so many of our sisters people have valued can be taken like that. And all you got is family. All you got is each other. And what you're looking at is a man that you divorced over money who's still doing what he should be doing. See, if you divorced him over money and he just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything, then you'd have had a case. I divorced him over money and he ain't done nothing for his daughters. No, he's still over here two, three times a week. He's active as ever.
When you say active, can you define active?
I'm defining what you said.
What do you think active means?
Active is, you have sole physical custody, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he has every other weekend. That's what he has. So being over there every other day is outside of his custody arrangement. It's helping you. He only gets every otother weekend. But he is extremely active according to the law. You are getting, if you need to do anything, all you gotta do is pick up a phone and say, hey dude, come over here. And he's there like that because he's still in his daughter's lives. Ma'am, this was I would tell you this, good luck trying to date any man with any character and telling this story. It doesn't sound really good, ma'am. You divorced him over petty money reasons.
You think it's petty?
Yes, I do, because ma'am, your ass is still getting up having to work. All you don't have is a man.
Okay. Well, I would like a man who works. So.
Well, good. What would your daughters like?
Okay.
What would your daughters like?
They would like a father.
No, they would like, they would like, no, don't get, that's bullshit. See, now you want to go there, that's little. They want their father. Exactly. They want their father. And they would like their mother not to have divorced their father over petty freaking reasons.
But here's the thing, though.
You want a man that worked? Make it, I mean, it's like, seriously, how about, don't give a man that didn't have a stable job children. You gave him 2. So he was not working after the first one? Was he not working after the first one? Was he not working after the second one? I mean, like, seriously, you gave him 2. You married him. This is the thing where if you didn't marry him, you didn't give him 2 kids, fuck it, fine. He didn't work. You don't want him? Cool. You went through all this level of serious commitment. And then now that, you know what? You're done with it. You're bored. You're tired. Now it's not. This is the thing where this is what Kevin Samuels was really for. It's not about you anymore. It's not about you. It's not about you. Here's the thing. If men can go to work and leave and have a stay-at-home mother, stay-at-home wife, you can do it too. You can do it too. I'm sorry. You picked that man. You have to make it work. You have to make it work. You have to make however your situation work. You picked him. No one forced you to give 2 kids to him. This is a thing where it is such level of selfishness. It is petty. Just like Kevin Samuels said, you broke up with, you divorced him, you're still working. You're still taking care of the household. And you just don't have a man. That's it. So what's the difference? You could have, the father of your kids could still be in your kid's life 24/7. Okay? If you didn't have this selfishness, this pettiness, because honestly, you're still doing it regardless. It's not like your life is different. Now you divorce your man, you divorce your husband, now you have a man providing for you. You don't. You're still doing it. You're still providing for yourself.
Do you think that as they get older that they're
No, they're going to do. No, what I think is going to happen is they get older. They're going to resent the hell out of you. They're going to resent. Oh, you want to hear? I think they're going to resent the absolute fuck out of you because their father is showing up on Tuesday and Thursday. He's there monthly. He's doing the hard work. See, many women complain of high value men of just being a check and not being there. You got the whole goddamn man even afterwards, and you're too fucking blind to see it. You took their father out of the household for a little bit of money, for a little bit of money, for a little bit of money. You're not rich for a little bit of money. And you didn't discuss this up front, ma'am. You didn't go into it saying, hey, man, I need you to carry all the bills. You need to pay all this stuff. You did this afterwards. Good for you. Get the fuck off my phone. I cannot stand women like you.
I'm not gonna lie. It's
just a short episode. I was just playing this out. I was playing Kendra G videos beforehand. So, you know, it's just a short clip kind of thing. But it was interesting, so I thought I wanted to check it out. All right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Just missed you. Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Big bars. Love you. Why? He's walking Odin. He's walking his dog. So thank you for stopping by, my brother. Skull. Hope you gotta keep me updated on the girl. Oh wow, you still here, my bro. Let's see. Define. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Ivan, Skull, Elk was here earlier. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Thank you all for stopping by. You guys are amazing. See you guys on the next live. Later, guys.